Hey there, BookTube. Everyone who reads must converse is the channel. Thanks for coming back by. Happy Friday. Um, I love Fridays. Being here with the community and just getting to the end of another week, right? What a week it's been. A busy week here, a lot of work. Been killing it at my job. It's carpentry, a lot of fun, building all the time and getting going and reading some really awesome stuff this week. I've been organizing my bookshelves. Some of you who have some real personal collections, personal libraries, these kind of things know what I'm talking about with organizing your bookshelves. I have 1,700 books here at the house, and 1,700 visible, right? All my books are on shelves, and organizing them is a bit of a task. Hey, Alexa, happy Friday. Nice to see you, brother. For sure. Organizing them is such a daunting task that even to undertake it, I have to have an idea of what I want, right? So I had undertook, you can see a couple of reels on my channel here organizing my books by publisher, which is very aesthetically pleasing and beautiful on the shelf. That's for sure. Hey, Jim reads too slow. Happy Friday, brother. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming by. Oh, always love the support. So when you organize by publisher, it looks beautiful, but it is a cluster to find anything. I mean, even books that I knew that I had, and I even might know what the cover looks like even by memory, right? Still couldn't find it on a shelf. Even when I could remember the publisher sometimes, couldn't find it on the shelf because, I didn't do my whole uh library that way. It was ridiculous. It was so bad. Hey Tyler, happy Friday, brother. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming by and supporting and always. And we're set to hang out tonight. It's going to be really, really fun. I got something locked and loaded in my pocket for tonight. And I have been recovering from that publisher organization, kind of putting things back the way that they need to be. But it's been a big thing, been going through this whole week, and it will be continuing. Now, when I get done with it, I'm wondering if people are interested in a new bookshelf tour from me. I did a bookshelf tour when I first started my channel. You'll find it in a playlist by the same name, and it's like 3 years ago now. Hey, Christy Louise Dostoevsky in space in the house. Happy Friday. Yes. Thank you for coming by. Nice to see you, Christy. I have my own library of Orm, which is a personal reread library. I like that. City of Dreaming Books. Such an amazing, fun book. Cool. Man, maybe I'll check it out. City of Dreaming Books. Heck yeah. Nice to see you, Nick. Hey, Nick Voro. Happy Friday, brother. Yeah, happy Friday, everybody. That's for sure. Killer. So I'm down to, I'll probably do reels and just show off the shelves once I got them looking right, right? I'm doing some real overhauling of my collection in that way of organization. But um let me know if y'all are interested, anybody watching now or watching afterwards. If you're interested in bookshelf tour from me, I have all kinds of wonderful stuff to look at. And if I end up redoing it, I'm probably going to do, just a all around better bookshelf tour because now I know how to make videos. Whereas when I first did my bookshelf tour, I didn't edit anything. I didn't know even how to do a lot of stuff that I can do now. Heck yeah. We'd have some fun going through it. I love some bookshelf tours and I love to do bookshelf tours, all that kind of thing. So yeah. Um if it's in the cards, I'll do a bookshelf tour. It was some really fun content to make. So I'll get to it. We're a little bit through. And this week I got turned on and read an amazing Southern author. I can't believe I haven't read anything by Carson McCullers before, but I read The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. So I finished it, actually finished it just last night. Let me know if you've read it. Let me know um, any thoughts on it. I'm just going to ramble a little bit and give some kind of overview of what the experience is here, because the characters are wonderful in this book but seem to be pointing to something more than just characters in a novel. It seems like Carson McCullers is using different characters in this novel. At least The Heart is a Lonely Hunter. I don't know if she does it in other of her works, where these characters are different aspects of her psyche. Yeah. A member of the wedding and Heart is a Lonely Hunter. This is the International Collectors Library edition. I was lucky to find it just, at a used bookstore. So there's reflections of a personality aspect within two different characters, two different reflections on um, maybe a belief set, things like that. Or when it, if it's an issue that maybe Carson McCullers didn't understand fully and want to plant her flag somewhere, right? Maybe something big like religion or political aspects, right? Political beliefs. These will be illustrated by two different characters that are antagonistic to each other, or even see a problem from two different aspects. And that's it's really cool to see the kind of tension between these two, and the tension feels psychological, right? um Even though in by a character um aspect it might be a physical tension in on the page, right? But as far as the storytelling, it seems that it is psychological, right? Very, very interesting, for sure. Flannery lovers will love McCullers, for sure, Christy. And I think you might like Carson McCullers even a little more than Flannery, because, and I'll tell you why. Hey, baby, happy Friday. Thanks for stopping by. Emily is out on the road, uh, and hopefully home soon. For sure. Awesome, awesome. So, Carson McCullers, it's dirty South. It really is 1930s, mid 30s, early 30s, even late 30s, maybe. Deep South, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, right? Piedmont uh, area of Georgia kind of stuff. And these families, these characters are in a small town that nobody has much of anything, right? There's not a wealthy person depicted in the book at all. There are wealthy people, there's a wealthy part of town, something like that, but when it comes down to it, everybody is in the struggle, deep in the struggle. Carson McMarch. There you go. I like that, Jim. I like it very much. So you have this kind of there is the kind of atmosphere and feeling you would expect, right? But then there is this kind of dread because things are unsafe. And, you know, especially the children, you look out for this character, Mick, who is like maybe a 14-year-old girl, right? And the dread and the kind of feelings that a reader has behind it turns into these beautiful, like, moments and scenes. And Carson McCullers has a penchant for a beautiful scene that illustrates something vital about the human condition. And I'll give you, uh it's not going to be a big spoiler. It's less than halfway through the book. But there's this party that Mick is throwing, the young girl, right? She's started school vocational, which is maybe middle school or a high school, starting at 8th grade, something like that, right? Because she's 14. So she starts vocational, and everything's very clicky, right? Everybody's very clicky, and she's trying to find her place. And she throws this party, and she's really hopeful, and she's getting ready and all this. And you get this sense like, oh no, maybe it's not going to go right. But what this scene ends up being is a beautiful illustration and glorification of innocence and being a kid, in the way of this party breaking down and becoming something that you don't expect it. And it is a mess in a way, but it becomes something even better than what you might have wanted it to be. And the reader's um, expectations are subverted by that in a way, and turned into something where you feel like you're in the hands of somebody who really knows what they're doing with the storytelling. And like I said, I've finished it, and I really love this book. I love this book, and I love Singer as a character. Thank you, baby. Oh, she busted me out. That's right. You busted me out. I swear. My birthday is tomorrow. So that's all I got to say about Carson McCullers. For now, I'll do a dedicated video on that. Part of my women take over the end of 2022. That's what it's going to be. Hey, Mark, happy Friday. Mark Richardson in the house. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Deb, nice to see you as well. Hope y'all are having a great week, end of the week. Let's get to it, right? Hang out together. Let's read some books, all that kind of stuff, right? What you getting for your birthday, Noah? Probably a book, am I right? Thank you, Robert Wright. You're the best. I don't know. Now, I swear. Hey, Mom. Mama Clemens in the house. This is, oh, thank you. The one ultimately responsible for my birthday is in the house. I didn't really expect this. So, I'll go ahead and say that I do have a special guest for tonight, and I'd like to go ahead and invite him to jump on the link, sir. And let's get this underway, because tonight is going to be a really, really fun night. I always ask for books too, Nick, for sure. For sure. That's what I got. That's what I got in my pocket. Thank you, Alexa. You're the best, bro. I really appreciate that. Ah, yeah, that's right. 41. That's right. I'm getting there. I'm over the hill, right? That's what they call once you pass 40. Is that right? I'm over the hill now. Yeah. Right? All right, cool. So this week I also dipped my toe out there into this beautiful collection here. This is the Holon project. I've showcased it in my on my channel here before, and I'm not gonna stop because this is freaking beautiful. Am I right? But a buddy of mine was published in this collection here, and I want to say, hey Nick,
Hey, brother, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, dude?
I'm good.
Very cool. So Nick Voro is in the house. Here we go. Second to last, not second to last in quality. Let me tell you, I read Nick's short story in here this week, and we had some cool conversation. You
We
want to
did.
start us off, Nick? I'd love to, just from an author perspective first, just where you were coming from with the short story. It's called One Scene Away from Masterpiece Status.
So I really support what Daniel Cockrell is doing. I think he's an
Hey,
amazing
hey,
storyteller.
hey, Nick, your mic is sounding pretty, um, uh, I guess distorted in some way.
Okay. Okay. 1 second. Let me try. Another one.
Sure. So, this collection is one scene away from masterpiece status. Starts off, we got a playwright, a kind of screenwriter, and he's up for an award. Hey,
Okay, let me
hey,
see.
Nick.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure.
There we go.
Okay, it sounds pretty good. Okay, cool. So, the main character in your submission here to the Hold On project, we have a screenwriter that is up for an award. He's won an award, and this kind of thing is in the over the head of it, right? But then he's taking this trip and seems very aimless and going to a museum for like a day trip just to kind of get some inspiration, maybe, or go for some art, whatever, just a whim. Uh, if you want to give some kind of where you were coming from with the story or something like that,
Sure.
or the themes or whatever, I'd just like to hear from you on the submission if you want.
So hopefully the sound is good now.
It is.
Okay,
It is.
perfect. So it's a bit of an older story that I had an opportunity to rewrite, to sit down with, and I absolutely love the title. The first time I wrote this back in 2007, the title just stuck with me, and I think it's well, it's a catchy title, but outside of that, I think it's also a very important title to what the theme of the story is. And I would say the theme of the story is artistic pursuit. It's fighting for, maybe even we can call it self betterment artistically. It's about taking chances, leaps, bounds. It's about a person who is trying to get out of his sort of locked in position in life and trying to self better himself,
Right.
because he feels like he is a different sort of artist. He's not a mainstream machine pumping Hollywood type of artist. He's out there trying to make films that are important, that will last, and they will be remembered, and they will be revered.
Cool.
And not to give it all away, but he's about to announce his sort of next phase of his career by including a single scene that represents the world to him inside of this movie that really is schlocky and just atypical of Hollywood machinery. But that's exactly the scene that the producers of the film, the financiers, feel like needs to be cut for
Right.
pacing issues.
Right. Okay, so it's a character who's struggling with his own kind of selling out to be able to do what he wants to do, which is to make art
Mhm.
for his life, to pursue his artistic pursuits, right? He's sold out to have that kind of backing, that financier, whatever. And he's now made it, but now there's this struggle within. Mark Richardson threw out, explain the Holon project real quick. So I want to do that just because, dude, this is what it's all about. Okay.
Absolutely.
What it's all about is a wonderful literary journal that's being put together by the community, a member of the community, but I can't believe the level that he's gathering authors, but also artists for this project. It's 2 volumes in now.
Yes.
It's beautiful. It's freaking beautiful. So I can't wait to have a shelf of these. And when I dip in and it's all short stories and poetry and things like this, right? These smaller efforts. So when you dip in and take one of those Godiva chocolates, like just some beautiful thing, you know, it's something, it's a wonderful little volume to have. And all of these individuals you could reach out to and talk to the way that we talk, right? I mean, we were talking earlier and had some awesome exploration even into your short story, because when I read it, and that's what one of the wonderful things about being part of the community here is, you know, the author who is making these submissions and the readers who are just getting into it can talk on their own very easily, you know, very you know, very seamlessly. And I talked to you after reading this short story and was just like, you know, kind of where were we coming from, and we ended up exploring and digging into this in kind of a beautiful way, I think.
Absolutely. No, I like the fact that you can approach any one of these poets, writers. You can just message them, and they're the most wonderful, easygoing people. They love to share. They love to share the same community feeling we all have about books and reading and writing. And you can just ask them exactly what they intended to do with their work, and then share how it made you feel and what you got out of that same work. And it might not be the same exact thing,
right?
But as long as someone gets something out of it, that's why we're all here as readers, as creators. That's what it's all about. And what Daniel Cockrell is doing is amazing. He is here for the community. He is a Rick Harsh. He's here giving opportunities to people like myself, and it's absolutely 100% wonderful.
Right? Yeah, it's great. I've been turned on to so many cool creators just because the amount of networking that he must do is off the charts. Am I right? So when I read some of the Holon Project Volume 1, we did I had Christopher Robinson on and was talking about some of his efforts in that first volume, which were cool, just cool explorations and this kind of thing too. So this is what we love.
Absolutely.
Contributing to the literature milieu, right?
Can I take just one little moment to say Christopher Robinson is an amazing human, an amazing reader, a reader I wish I was. And he's a great, fantastic writer. Those short stories and what he has in the works in terms of a novel or two, we're not ready for it, but we will be ready when it comes.
That's right. That's right. And I second that. I think you're on point with that. I think you hit the nail on the head with we ain't ready for what Nick's what Chris is gonna drop on us. And he's just a really great guy. And where he gets to, like what the thrust of what he has to say, I want to hear it. My heart wants it. This guy is on point. Also, just to say there is a great collection out. This is Corona Samizdat that's putting out this one.
I'm gonna spill my coffee.
Right when you take a drink, right? This is Nick Voro, my boy, Conversational Therapy, put out in pocketbook format by Corona Samizdat. What a great press, and has nothing to do with the Holon project.
No.
That's two completely separate things that we're talking about. But
Absolutely.
this is the energy that is infusing our community, brother.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. They're putting out some wonderful books, some amazing books, from Cactus Boots to A Bandit Circuity. We must give credit where credit is due for these two books.
Right.
But also I would be completely wrong not to mention my Canadian brethren, from Lee D. Thompson, who's my mentor, who is an amazing, wonderful, intelligent.
I can't wait to get my hands on that.
This is a book that is a must-have, just like Cactus Boots and A Bandit Circuity. And not to mention W.D. Clark, another mentor of mine, another fellow Canadian, another wonderful human being. And, of course, the wonderful writer, critic, Jeff Bursey.
One second. You start getting distorted there for a second again. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I'm good now. Yeah.
Still distorted, very distorted. Hey, SS, happy Friday. Nice to see you, brother. Good evening, all. That's for sure. Maybe we just give it a second. Yeah, it sounds. It's just a mic issue, it seems. Say something.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Let me talk from the laptop. Maybe we'll
You're
be
good. You're sounding good. Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah. Okay. The final author you dropped.
That was the wonderful writer and critic Jeff Bursey. Jeff Bursey is
Bursey. Jeff. That's right. Jeff Bursey. This guy. Man. I gotta read more. I hear also an awesome kind of experimental voice.
Yes. I believe all three of these fine Canadian writers, they're all extremely experimental. And I think when people think of Canadian lit and they think, sort of a little bit same old, nothing too, a bit conventional, a bit non-experimental. Well, hey, you're not reading the right Canadian authors. Let me tell you something.
Right. Nice. Very cool. Dude, Mouth Reader or Mouth Human Must Die.
Yes.
That was such a cool experience to read that book, man. I was like this I love when you can feel that an author puts himself in a world or lives in a certain world for a while and then gets a feel in a story within that world and then strips everything else down and just gives it to you like raw. That's what I feel. That's what I feel in that piece.
What Lee D. Thompson is doing with this upcoming collection that features the same Dr. Shabazz from that story, the same character, is all these stories which are interlinked only by the character. They're so psychological, Noah. It's I think this book, when it comes out, I will bet any money in the world, and I am not rich, I'm very poor. I will bet any money that I have that book is going to win an award. At least in Canada, it will win an award. I feel that that's his masterpiece. And when it comes out, I'm telling you, the world is definitely not ready for that one. Nice. I have read 4 of those short stories, and let me tell you, they are amazing. And I don't have to lie. I am passionate about everything that I promote because it comes from the heart. And Lee D. Thompson's upcoming book is something wonderful.
Nice. Very cool. I swear. Okay, I have his dreams book.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read that.
The book that made me cry twice. I cried twice.
And I look, and then I'm making an order from Corona Samizdat soon. It's due time, and on this order is Clark, W.D. Clark. I'm getting She Sang to Them, She Sang, or the White Mythology as well.
Yes,
is another one. And then I'm getting a pastoral, And I have to grab Spare Words, Mark Douglas's book.
Lady Thompson. Yep.
Yeah. So I'll do it.
And Mark
Cool.
is another wonderful. Stephen Fuller and Mark are both such amazing poets, such incredible human beings. Amazing.
You're getting me more excited. I tell you, I had so much fun with Lady Thompson's book. That was killer. So you had read Cactus Boots, right?
Yes.
Very cool. I finished Cactus Boots this week. This was the reread.
Yes.
So
you sped through it. You sped through it.
I read it. I actually took more time with it this time than the first time because I was reading it with a group.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like there's definite places of pure euphoria.
Yes.
With reading this book, especially on a reread, because you kind of know what's coming, and then for it to deliver and to hit and to really do what it does on the level that it did, did the first time around, to do it again when you're expecting it and you're like, yeah, give it to me, is such a total rapture of an experience. You know how I'll go ahead and just, you can't spoil this book. So after the word fever, when it calms down after the word fever, and you have this beautiful prose of the train engineer, and it's the part of the book that is from Philip Friedenberg's first book, unpublished, The Museum of General Ideas, right? So it's just this real nice prose that is probably the best prose that I think is in this book. And you're just kind of let down to this beauty before the climax. And that climax is just so psychedelic.
I had the hardest time trying to when I had to review this book after I finished reading it, I thought to myself, well, instead of me trying to actually, I'm not an academic sort of reviewer. I don't know how to really write proper reviews. Now, Jeb Bursey is a great reviewer, and he actually always gives me pointers. Yes. But you know what? My 3-page review that's still on Goodreads, which is the longest review for the book, I believe, and Phil does like that review. It may not go into all the details, but let me tell you something. I dare anyone to read that review and not go out there and at least show some interest for that book. And I think my job was done. Right. I liked the book and I expressed my passion for it. And therefore, that's to me is the best review. When people tell me, Nick, you know what? It wasn't the most academic review. You could have went in more on the plot, the characters, this and that. But I felt your heart. I felt your soul. I felt your enthusiasm for the work. And hey, I'm a writer, but I'm not a reviewer. That's not my forte. So,
well, I mean, and when it comes down to it, I tell people all the time, like what I'm trying to do here, I'm not trying to be anything or trying to do anything, especially when talking about literature and talking about books and things. I'm trying to turn people on. That's all that I'm trying to do. Turn people on to good books. Yes. And if somebody comes across one of my videos and they don't watch any booktube, they don't know anything, but they come across one of my videos and my enthusiasm about a book that I loved makes them crack it open. I did exactly what I wanted to do.
Exactly.
And I mean, let's make Daniel is the mastermind behind the Holon project. Let's make Daniel need to print more copies.
Oh yeah.
To extend the run. Okay? Because I love this idea and we're totally in on it. So other than that, I mean, man, I have been reading so many women authors this year and decided to focus on the next maybe coming 3 or 4 months, gonna really close out 2023 with some women authors. Next on my list is AS Byatt. Have you ever read anything by her?
No, but I
This
am
is
aware
possession.
of the name. But wow, look at that cover.
Yeah. So it's like it's labeled as a romance, but it's a metafiction,
Beautiful.
experimental masterpiece. I mean, like just this gets all the praise from her, but she also is just a great writer. So this is what I'm going for because it is the most highly lauded. My boy Jack over at Rambling Raconteur is all about some possession and AS Byatt, and read it even earlier this year and said he was down to reread it with me.
Wow.
It's that good. So that's next on my list. Now that I'm finished with The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, I can't wait to see a woman do this kind of experimental, metafiction, right?
Absolutely. And hey, why don't we do a quick shout out to Jack, because he is one of the most intelligent reviewers out there, next to Chris Villa. So let's.
Am I right?
Yes.
You got it. Jack over at Rambling Raconteur is just an intellectual jackdaw
Yes.
at when it comes down to books and literature. It's like when he reads something, he locates it within a historical context of literature that is around the same period, but also in a thematic context with other books that might be thematically in line with it. Maybe certain characters might remind him of different ones, and he pulls that all together and throws it at you in a 12-minute video that you need to watch 2 or 3 times.
All the connections.
What an amazing dude.
Brother, let me show you something that I am reading, although I am reading A Banded Circuity, and it's a masterpiece, but I am sneaking in a little bit of a smaller masterpiece alongside Gerald Murnane, Border Districts, 133-page masterpiece.
Nice. I love the short, awesome books. What kind of vein or what kind of stream is it in?
He reminds me of Beckett, Proust. His attention to detail, his obsessiveness with his childhood, the things he kept in his mind throughout his entire life. He can write a chapter on marbles, which he adores, marbles. And the way he describes marbles, it's a Nabokov style prose, where if he describes a soap bubble floating in the air, you sit there and you wonder if you've ever looked at it the same way he has. He opens up another viewpoint. He almost describes it better than real life.
Nice. Right. It's kind of like that, when you say that, it reminds me of like A Clockwork Orange, when it's like, the kind of things that he was talking about, ultra violence at that time. It's like blood only feels real when you look at it on a screen, when it's put in an art context. Because the thing is to really experience something, you have to submit yourself to it, right? You have to let your guard down, you have to let all the walls down, and you have to really just like let it wash over you, let it influence you, and you have to open yourself to it. And there has to be this kind of give and take, all that relationship. And so that kind of an author that's really pouring that out and elicits that kind of response from a reader, few and far between.
There's very few of them. That's why.
Where's he from? Murrain.
Oh, he's Australian.
Australian.
He's a wonderful Australian writer.
I've heard the name, but I haven't read anything.
I own a book or two by Patrick White, but I have also yet to get to him. So in due time with him, but I hear he's another Australian genius. So
nice.
We must get to it sometime.
Very cool. You know how I do on the channel, man. I'm always reading all kinds of stuff, and the experimental writing cerebral, mind-centered writing is something that always calls to me. But one of the things that uh, is this women's writing kind of thing that's been made more apparent to me, and even something that I want to focus on more is the experience of life and experiential uh, and heart-centered living, heart-centered experience of the world. And so even with female writing, I want to tend towards the cerebral with that kind of thing. So we've picked out to do Miss Macintosh, My Darling, of course, which who knows? I don't even know what to expect from that. Anais Nin writes the forward to my edition and stuff. So I don't know what to expect. I'm just going to jump in with running. But I decided to do a reread because this is a book that didn't make it into the kind of outlook that I had. But I wonder if you love this book because it's an amazing work. But if you've experienced Frankenstein, but I'm reading the original 1818 text of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
I'll be honest, I have never actually read this, although I it's been on my list. It's been on my TBR for a couple of years now, at least.
Bro, you have to read it.
And I want that text. I've seen that text before, and that's the one I would personally go for as well.
It's the one. So I read it, back in the day, maybe in high school. So it was like 2020, 1999. And I don't know if I read the 1818 text or not, because it was in a book that I got from the school library. So I'm going to so I got this one to reread this, and it just sat on my shelf. So now's the time. But dude, it's one of the greatest, most high tension, just there's something volatile in these pages that I don't think is replicated, in any kind of genre piece. And this is, it's put as a genre piece now, but there was no sci-fi, there was no genre, when she wrote this. And once again, a woman jumps in and does it, on another level.
It's amazing. Just even the story of how it was done in a dare, how they all gathered, all these genius writers, and then she came out on top with the most wonderful book. And even though I have yet to read it, I do know I love the story. We all know we love the story. We all love the story. It's impossible not to love.
Yeah, and it just shapes, it shaped the way that we think about stuff. Even if you've never read the book, and even if you've never seen the movie, just in the Western culture here, especially American, North American culture, it has shaped the way that we look at people that might be marginalized in a mentally deficient way or something like this. Just the dichotomy of that, just
absolutely
the status quo of that, kind of thing. And it's just something that's cultural now. So it's awesome to go back to that kind of thing and see what these kind of really electrifying phrases or paragraphs or chapters that really pushed this kind of thing that we know now has had an ongoing effect in culture.
Yes,
I love it.
Bro, I love that word. I love that word, electrifying. That's a great word. It's a great descriptive word.
It's how literature does, man. And it's so cool being in the community the way that we are, because it feels like there is an aspect of like really being on the cutting edge of some literature, some movements that might be made, because it only is done by individuals anyways, right?
Exactly. And in 10 years from now, we'll look back and we'll see, there were so many of these folks. We were around, we were talking to them, and look at their progression arc.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Recognition Book Club in the house. What's up?
Oh, it's just my hair in a man bun, but yeah.
Don't worry about being late. Hey, you show up whenever you want, brother. I'll be here. You be here anytime you want. Me and Nick, we're just hanging out. You know, we're talking lit.
Oh, wait,
That's what we do. So, I mean, really, Mary Shelley was amazing, and the Falcon, Tyler, my man, an amazing channel, an amazing booktuber. Wonderful things to say about literature. Frankenstein is his favorite novel of all time. So, yeah. killer.
Great taste.
Yeah, great taste. Go ahead. When I read it, I mean, I might read it sooner rather than later. It might not be within the next week, but it definitely will be within the next 2 weeks. So, if you want to crush it, let's crush it.
Let's do it.
I might do a little group read because you know everybody needs to read Frankenstein, and there's always people who ain't read it yet.
Exactly, and these group reads are wonderful. Like, just to be able to gather a bunch of amazingly talented people, readers, writers, appreciators of art, and just to be able to read the same material and to actually have in-depth intellectual discussions is, what more can you ask for? This is the community is wonderful.
Right.
Wendy said, and it's true. It's a wonderful, wonderful community, and we're very lucky to be in it.
Yeah. And I mean, man, when there's like tags that go around the community, right? On BookTube, there's a tag, it was like, why did you start a BookTube channel or something, right? Or that was one of the questions. It's called the BookTube newbie tag. So it's something that people will do just when they start their channel, right? One of those questions is, why did you start a channel? Almost 100% of the time, the answer to that question is, well, I read. I love to read. And there's not people in my immediate vicinity in my life that I can talk about books with. So I started this channel, and inevitably those people find their people. They find their community. They find a clique, and they end up talking books gloriously for the rest of their days. Or else, or as I like to think, right?
Well, brother, that was me. I did not have anyone for 34 years. I didn't have a community. I didn't have I wasn't surrounded by artistic friends. And then finally, when I wrote a book, and I went on Instagram for the first time in my life, and I said, hey, let me see if I can promote this book, just like as a typical marketing ploy.
Yeah.
And then I came for the marketing. I stayed for the friendships and the community. And it finally gave me everything I have been looking for in my life for 34 years. When I call this place my second home, I actually fully mean that. It comes from the heart, and it's truthful. It's just a wonderful community.
Right. Yeah. I mean, dude, and it's a full community. I mean, it's not without its, it's there's all kinds of things going on, and there's all kinds of people, and we all have to, interact and all this kind of thing. But all around, everybody is getting exactly what they want. They want a community of people who also love literature, also love the written word. Wendy says that's absolutely why she started her Bookstagram, and just like that, I don't have an Instagram page. I have a Bookstagram page, and I don't have a YouTube channel. I have a BookTube channel, and that's where I'm at. Is what we're here for, and say it loud, say it proud, right? Yep. It's amazing. Bringing reading back again for sure. Since I've started my channel, let me tell you, I've been doing it, 3 years. Since I started my channel, the bookstores are busier than they've been ever since I started my channel. It's just an awesome community.
Yeah.
In real life, in my experience, and the community online is more and more vibrant as well.
Yeah, brother, you feel the it's like a synergy. You feel it. It's just whatever I receive, I go on and I give it right back, and it just circulates. I can have the worst day of my life. I go on, I'm empowered. I feel enthusiastic. I feel full of passion. I grab a book. I write a page or half a page or even a couple sentences. I feel invigorated. And that's what it's all about. And I always give back positivity. I take it in and I give it right back.
Right. You
And
know, and I don't know if I'm not trying to, make a claim, like make
Mhm.
something, say something is, you know, I'm just a dude.
Yeah.
But I can't help but thinking that all this interaction and our doing what we're doing, whether it be multi-platform and getting together on tonight, a kind of live thing, and putting content out there and just seeing people uh, interested and enthusiastic and talking about books, all that kind of thing, pushing this kind of thing when there's no, no benefit back to us other than what I'm saying here is maybe this is exactly what it means to infuse value
Mhm.
into what you do, what you do in your life, infusing value and giving meaning
Yeah.
by really believing in what we do, and just it's what brings us joy. It's what brings us happiness. Just you talking about grabbing grabbing a book and picking it up and reading it. This is totally the joy time of, and writing even more so. All right. I mean, a blessing it is to kind of create, right? So to celebrate that in a community style, we're right where we need to be, baby.
No, I feel the same way. And one writer to another who's got a wonderful book coming up sometime soon. All I can say, brother, is I've been reading since not the youngest of age, maybe like Christopher Robinson, but young enough. And I've been writing since I was like 7 or 8. And I've always had the same dream my whole life. And you know what? I'm out here and I'm doing it. It's never been about the money because there's no money that I can see. I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I'm passionate about it. I'm doing it because I've been doing it my whole life, pretty much, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and I am so grateful for even having a couple friends or new readers read my work, and I'm so blessed and grateful for that. There's just no words that can describe that. And I'm living the best years of my life. This is it. I might not
Yeah,
be
but
rich or
but dude, you know
famous.
who says that? You know who says that? Everybody that I talk to in our community.
There you go. It's
I mean, it's great. It's so great. And man, thank you for shouting out. I will leave it with this because we're getting close to the hour mark. Thank you for killing this hour with me, Nick.
brother.
I
I
love hanging with you, man. Since you kind of teased it, I will say that I want to kick around expanding some of my content on the channel, and that will be in
mm,
including some author style content, and
mm,
it will be original content. So it'll be me and a friend of mine who is a wonderful author,
wow.
and we're game planning. We've been game planning. We've been putting some stuff together, and uh, let me know if y'all are interested in some us sharing some of our writing, some author ideas, and some author exploration, just exploration of storytelling and how we're working through creating something that might be a little bigger than what we could even wrap our heads around.
Mhm.
But we know if we start, we're going to be able to wrap our heads around it once we're in the process. So we're going through that process. But I kind of think if we put together content of that process, it might be interesting for the community. If that makes sense, leave a comment.
Can I just say that this sounds absolutely amazing?
We've been busy.
Oh, you've been busy. And Noah, let's celebrate you for a moment, brother. Happy birthday.
Thank you so
much. My friend, happy birthday. You're wonderful.
Thank you so much, Nick.
And this sounds exciting. Exciting.
Well, I'm excited. I'm really excited. It really means a lot to share it, yes, and even to share the idea of it. You know, these kind of things require courage. And I mean, I'm a real extroverted guy. I love to, you know, kind of put myself out there, but I still have a lot of apprehension, and I want to, you know, I want it to be good. I want to have a solid, good response, but you can never. So it's just, you know, you just have to take the leap and take the step. So we're making strides, and my buddy Ryan is really inspiring me because he's an amazing writer, and his enthusiasm, and we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Okay, that's enough of the spoiler. I've thrown it out there. That's, you know, I'll do some dedicated content once it gets a little bit closer. It's not going to be far until we really start kicking around content in this way. That's why I'm letting it out of the bag. So we'll see.
I'm excited. I'm excited, Nick, for you, brother.
Nick, I tell you, check out Nick in the Holon Project Volume 2. If you can get your hands on a copy, it's a limited run, but what a beautiful volume, and all the volumes. So get on the holonproject.com. I'll have that in the description box. Nick Voro's book himself, Conversational Therapy Stories and Plays, is coronasamas.com. I'll have that in the description box as well. Thank you for crushing an hour with me talking books. We talked some women writers. We talked some cactus boots. And man, you're a badass.
Oh, brother, thank you. You got me out there on camera. You're the badass. And one of these upcoming reappearances, I said it, maybe I'll reappear.
Yes, and you're here. I made it happen. That's right. Blue Magic in the house. Hey, you know what? Y'all have a good night. Happy Friday.
Have a good night, people.
Catch you on the next one.
Happy birthday, brother.